Not
Yeah,
yet. Almost. Sorry, I'm getting the Facebook Live going. We're not on the radio yet, but I
why
think
is it
we are.
asking me to leave meeting?
Oh, don't do
It
that.
just popped up. This meeting is being live streamed.
Oh, yay! Yep, yep. So
There we
we're live
go.
on Facebook. We're not live on the radio
Awesome.
yet.
Okay,
Good
I was
morning.
just like, I got good
Sorry,
morning, everybody.
I know I did that in the middle of your conversation, but otherwise I get into the conversation and then it's like a
That's
spazzy thing getting it going.
totally fine. We were just talking about a trip to Yosemite that's
I
going to be
know.
happening soon, and I'm like, oh, we're live streaming. Here we go.
See, that's half the fun.
All the fun. I love it. I love it. So,
and I
hi,
never
Facebook.
quite know, like, is it just going to pop up or does it take 2 or 3 tries to get the Facebook Live going? So this morning it was easy.
Oh, I know. Some Facebook, she is a fickle little beast. She's like,
I know.
sometimes
Benny.
I'm going to work for you, sometimes I won't.
Totally.
You ladies all set?
We
Yes.
are.
All right.
Good
stand by.
morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 425 Show, your place to be for all things real estate and lifestyle related here on the East Side. I'm your host, Nicole Mangina with Windermere Real Estate. Happy sunny Tuesday. It's the first week of August. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness, time is going by so fast. It's the end of summer, and so I thought it would be, this question starts to come up this time of year, which is, what's the market look like for the rest of the year? Can you sell your house in the summer? And so I figured, well, it's the start of August. It's a good time to revisit that. The answer is always, it depends. I'm sure you're not surprised that that's the answer. But yes, you can sell a house in August, but you need a local agent if you're going to sell your house in August, because the reality is a lot of people normally take vacations in August. And I think everybody's out of town right now. Have you tried to book a VRBO lately? It's not happening. Everybody's so happy to kind of be out and about and doing things. So you really want to look at your specific neighborhood, your specific price point, and your type of house or property, whether it's a condo, a townhouse, single family house, and what is that market doing right now? Because you might be okay coming on the market in August. We tend to be a little bit quiet and then things ramp back up about the middle of September. And then surprisingly, September through the middle of December is a very strong market as a seller. So there might be some advantages to selling now. There's not a lot of inventory, but you might actually make a little bit more money if you wait a couple weeks, which also then gives you the side benefit of a little more time to actually get ready, because otherwise it's a pretty tight time frame to get your house turned around and on the market. So there you go. That's the tip for the week. If you have questions about selling and whether or not now is the right time, or if you'd like to wait for another time of year that might be better suited for you, I always invite you to reach out. You can find me via email, nicole@nicolemangina.com. There you go. Today's guest. I'm excited for every guest, but I'm uber excited for today's guest. She's amazing. She's a mentor of mine, somebody I have learned so much from. And she's just a ton of fun. So every time I hang out with Kelsey, it's a good day. So I am super excited to welcome Kelsey Kurtis, the author of The Connection Method. And I'm holding up the book for the Facebook Live, but I have a big fake background and now it makes it look like we're in the Matrix. She is a branding and lifestyle photographer, an all-around guru on this topic, and again, the author of The Connection Method. So welcome, Kelsey. How are you?
So good, Nicole. Thank you for having me. This is just like, I am so excited for our conversation. And just as you said, I love hanging out with you. So this is just a win-win all over the board.
Exactly. Perfect way to start the day. So I gave the world my version of what you do, but what you do is pretty darn amazing and way more in-depth than the description I just gave. So fill us in. What is it that you do?
So I am a branding educator and a lifestyle branding photographer. Basically what I do is I help entrepreneurs and leaders step out of feeling scattered and step into feeling confidence by giving them direction and clarity by defining a connection-based brand. And then what we do is we take that brand and then we illustrate it with lifestyle branding photography. I've been a photographer for over 10 years, and I really saw that there was a need for people to get clarity on who they were, what they were trying to say, help them fight the comparison monster and really plant their feet on their own foundation. And so I educate people and strategize with them by creating a connection-based brand through the connection method. And then we illustrate that with lifestyle branding photographer. So, and I also like to say I'm an unapologetic cheerleader for entrepreneurs and leaders, because I'm like, go after your dreams, go get it. I'm so excited when people just get after it and take the leap and push past fear. So I'm an unapologetic cheerleader all the time.
You are 110%. Oh my goodness. I love this. I so appreciate you. We have worked together, so I know
Yes.
really how amazing you are.
Thank you.
And what the difference is, I've been selling real estate for 25 years, and they always talk about, you need, what's your brand? I work with Windermere, and I love them as a company, and I appreciate their brand and the value that they bring to the table, both for myself and my clients. But then there's the, what's my brand? What's the Nicole Mangina special way of
Yes.
doing something,
Yes.
right? And like, you get that inherently, but then to translate that, oh my goodness, when that's not your wheelhouse, it's like, so
really,
I get
really
a logo.
hard.
Yeah. Do I get
Yeah.
a logo with like a picture of a house and some keys in there
Or
somewhere? Yeah. I think that's what it means. But like, really, what does it mean? How do you talk about it? How do you market around it? What does it look like visually? All of that, like, sounds pretty good. Sometimes you see somebody else, you're like, that looks pretty fancy.
Right.
But to go do it for yourself, it's tricky. And
Yes.
it was really life-changing to go through that process with you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's the thing, is that especially as a realtor, you're not branding Windermere, even though Windermere is a phenomenal company.
They're
You
great.
aren't Windermere, and people aren't buying Windermere. They're not buying the Windermere logo. They're buying into you and your service, and they're buying more than just a purchase and sale transaction. And so that's what you have to define as your brand, who you are, what you value, and most importantly, what people can expect from you, because the biggest fear people have is the fear of the unknown. And so
Right.
if you can bridge that gap and tell people what they can expect from you, tell people, what your personality is like, what's your process, all these little things, what are your favorite things, whether it's, the silliest thing, like your favorite place to eat tacos, or, your actual, like, how I'm going to win for you in real estate. Everybody has their own process. And so they're not attaching to your brokerage, they're attaching to you and that individual piece. And that's where connection-based branding comes in, because connection-based branding basically takes traditional branding and flips it 180 degrees and looks at it from a completely different perspective. A lot of people think traditional branding is just your logo, and that you can hide behind your logo, hide behind your colors, all of that. But that's not cutting it anymore. People genuinely want to connect. People genuinely want to know the person and the values behind the businesses and things they're buying into. And so, in order to genuinely connect, I always say the truest form of connection comes from when others can see themselves in you. But if you don't know who you are, it's going to be really, really hard for those genuine connections to form. And so that's where the connection method comes in, and defining a connection-based brand comes in, so that you can connect with yourself first, so that you can connect with others and lay the foundation for telling people, planting your feet and going, okay, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. This is what you can expect from me. This is me. And it also helps you fight against the comparison monster, second guessing yourself, imposter syndrome, and a whole other slew of, blocks and fears.
Exactly. I feel like that's like a mic drop moment.
Mic drop in the house.
But yes, it's all of that. But I really believe this is one of those key things, like it's hard to do on your own. It's hard to do it without somebody walking you through it for a lot of reasons, right? You don't, especially like I'll say for myself, I just know I just do it this way, right? I kind of think it's different from how other people do it, but I don't really know. You kind of need to have that outside person help you.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And then to boil it down. And you talk about all of this, your book, by the way, The Connection Method, it's on Amazon. If you do nothing else today, go to Amazon and get this book. It will change your life and your business if you are a business owner. 100%. But it's the way you walk people through it. And it's so funny because by the time you break it down at the end, you're like, oh, that makes total sense, right?
Yes.
Not only does it make sense, but it feels like something, I feel connected to it, right? It's not only, it's about my clients connecting to my brand, but I feel connected to it versus, you look up some adjectives, again, back to the whole, you get your little clip art logo and maybe you're like, is this my font? I don't know. Am I a script person? Am I a block person? It's way deeper than that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that majority of people, they skip this step of defining the foundation of who they are. And so when you step into a new business or a position of leadership, everyone goes straight to the pretty, goes straight to what are my colors? What are my fonts? Tell me all about the pretty things. But they jump into it with impulsivity of just like, oh, that's pretty, let's move on. But then once the dust settles, as they, get their traction under their feet, they're so scattered, they're all over the place because they haven't defined a foundation. So that's why you have to define your brand foundation first, so that you can move forward with intentionality and know why your font is that way, why your color is that way, why you're saying yes to this client and not this client, why you're posting this as opposed to this on social media. Basically, what connection-based branding helps you do is take all that self-doubt, take all that emotion, take all that overthinking that's going in your brain, and simplifying it and summarizing it and turning it into something tangible that you can touch and feel and use and express to your community so that they know what to expect from you. And that's the biggest thing you need to solve. So that's the thing, is it's way more than a logo. You need to move forward with intentionality versus impulsivity.
I love it. I should mention, by the way, for everybody out there listening, so we talked about the book. Follow Kelsey on Instagram.
It's my second home.
Yes. But if you just need to smile every day, follow Kelsey on Instagram.
Thank you.
If you want to know what this looks like in action, follow Kelsey on Instagram.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is
Kelsey Kurtis.
At Kelsey M. Kurtis. Yep. Kelsey M, as in Mary, and then Kurtis with a K, KK.
Yes.
And that's the thing. And I have to walk the walk if I'm talking the talk. And so my Instagram really is a platform for people to know what to expect from me. They can know what my personality is like, what they can expect from a photo shoot, what they can expect from a one-on-one branding audit consultation, or from the book. Who's reading the book? Where's the book going? We have a really tight-knit community that we've created on Instagram. And that is all based on my own connection-based brand, because I know that I'm really trying to build something that's built on significance. And Oprah said that strive towards building something towards significance, and the success will follow. The success will follow. That too?
That was awesome.
Not a Kelsey Kurtis interview without a little bit of spice.
Touche. That's awesome.
I got no words, and they're not working.
That's great.
Well, there's your teaser for the show. There you go.
That's awesome.
Anyway, as I blush.
So I know, me too, a little bit. So let's walk through what this looks like.
Yes.
Because like I said, we work together, and a little bit of a disclaimer. Seriously, follow Kelsey on Instagram. You'll be so happy you did. Kelsey is an extreme extrovert, based on her Instagram feed, meaning you're out there. I love it. You inspire me. I'm a little more reserved in
I'm
how I
actually
show
not an
up.
extrovert.
Really?
Nope. I
Okay.
call myself an omnivert, half extrovert,
I love it.
half introvert.
Okay.
I definitely am a performer and I like to put myself out there. But girl, if I'm around a lot of people, I need some me time.
Okay,
So,
that's good to
but
know because you
yes,
do the coolest things on social media, and I'm like, okay.
but that's my brand. That's
I
the biggest thing
exactly.
that we have to remember is if you go follow me on Instagram, please don't make a carbon cop girl. The words are not working today.
They
Carbon
are not.
copy of that. And so like sure, that's my story. I have a big personality. I have a lot of energy. I have a background in theater and communications. Like that's my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And people are connect with that. But your community wants to connect with you and your energy and how you present yourself. An extrovert versus an introvert, they are equal. No one is more valuable than the next. We all are searching for connection, and that connection looks different in all different forms.
Awesome. So true. And I love it going through that process with you. It was everything. It was colors, which I
Mm-hmm.
super appreciate, and I
Mm-hmm.
love colors. So there was the color aspect of it. There was certainly the visual aspect of it because we
Mm-hmm.
did the photo shoot. Love the
Mm-hmm.
pictures. Thank you. I get so many compliments every time I use them in various things.
Yes.
But the words were really
Mm-hmm.
powerful going through that process and then having because you really broke it down. There were kind of what are my core words, which are, what am I all about? And then you even broke it down further in how do those words show up for me? How does how are they represented in how I show up? And being able to take that and how I interact with my clients, whether it's in a client conversation, in a marketing piece, in a social media post, life changing.
Yes. Okay. So branding words are the first thing that you define in the connection method, the most important piece of your brand. And basically, what Nicole's talking about are your branding words, which are 3 to 5 words or phrases that define who you are, what you value, and what people can expect from you. And again, it's that first step in taking all of your thoughts and emotions and turning it into something simple and tangible. And that these are your words that you can share in social media, in conversations. It's basically your filter for everything you do and creates that consistency. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time someone asks you to create content or asks you what you do. You just come back to your words. And that's an incredible piece of that will help create consistency as well as self-validate who you are, what you're doing, where you're going. My branding words are real, education, inspiration, empower, and joy. So I don't make any moves. I don't say yes to any opportunities. I don't say yes to what I wear or how I speak until I run it through my branding words. And that creates the consistency. So that not only self validates me, but it lets my community know what to expect. And the most powerful and exciting piece of this is once you own your words, when people start telling your words back to you and describing you back to you in your words, it's the most exciting piece. And I get texts from my clients all the time saying, yeah, someone just told me they just really respected my leadership, and leadership is one of my branding words. And it's the most exciting part of this process. But going back to what you said about yes, defining your words, but then how they're applicable to you. Because here's the thing is that we define what the words look like. So if I give the word leader or leadership to someone, and I give the same word leader or leadership to another person, they're going to be playing it out in 2 completely different ways. One person might be that stereotypical, I'm in front of a podium speaking in front of a large group of people, leading a global revolution. Whereas another person can show up in a leadership form in a more interpersonal way and a one-on-one, creating change and impact in their own immediate community. Leadership does not have a one size fit all um, place. And so that's what's really important is to don't be afraid of bigger words, because you actually define the narrative of your brand. You define the narrative of what these words mean and how you carry them out.
I love it. Thank you for clarifying that, because I think that's important. It was a big thing to walk through that process with you. And it's been interesting. I've noticed it's changed my conversations with my clients lately. And it's funny,
Mhm.
just like the person came back to you and said, I don't show up to an appointment and say, here's what you need to know about me. These are my words. So
Yeah.
this is what you can expect from me. So let's just get that out on the table. But it's that extra kind of foundational piece that affects how you show up in something,
Mhm.
that allows me to just say, this is who I am. This is how I roll.
Mhm.
And this is what I know it does for you as a client. And if that works for you, that's super awesome. We're going to have a great
Mhm.
time and you're going to be really
Mhm.
happy with this way this whole thing plays out. And if not, like that's okay too. I wish you all the best. And but let's figure it out from day one. Um, and that's been a pretty cool, it's a good feeling, right? Where kind of win, lose or draw, you come out of it exactly where you need to be.
Yeah, and it really quiets that second guessing of like leaving an
Yeah,
appointment going like, was that good enough? Was that all right? Like, It's this check mark of like, hey,
right,
I showed up in my branding words. I communicated who I was because I know I've defined who I am. So I can then
right.
communicate it to people in a human way, not just like, these are my branding words, you know? Um, and like these words are truly a great form of self-validation and a way to help you avoid that overthinking, second guessing situation, because it just simplifies everything, but gives you permission to show up as you and let you know that it is enough. It is enough
Right.
and so needed.
Absolutely. So let's walk through your book a little bit,
Okay.
because I know there's people out there. Reach out to Kelsey because she's amazing. I think you should just work with her.
I hope I'm getting a whole bunch of new friends from this. This is
I
awesome.
know. Follow her on Instagram, Kelsey M. Kurtis. Kelsey M. Kurtis, both start with a K. Um, reach out to work with you because that's just the coolest experience ever. But if it's not the right fit, or the reality is sometimes you get a little busy, this book is a great way to get people going. So you've got some really good exercises in here and you lay it out in a way that just feels super attainable, not, some pie in the sky idea that what do you do
Yes.
with it type thing.
Yes, that was my number one goal. Actually, my number one goal was I wanted to write a book that made it feel like you and I were sitting down for coffee doing this
Mm-hmm.
together. That was my number one goal. My core branding word is real. And so that was the thread that I just made sure that was sewn throughout the entire book. And then I've worked one-on-one with entrepreneurs and leaders with so many of them and heard so many stories. So I've worked through a lot of the blocks and fears and overthinking and excuses. Like I've heard all of them. And so I wanted to make sure that I gave a practical step-by-step process to get it done. But then also, okay, you did this. Now you're overthinking and thinking about this. Let's work our way through that. Okay, you're second guessing this. Okay, type deal. And so it's a very simple and practical approach. And one of the best feedback comments I've gotten about the book is that this person has, read books that tell you to be vulnerable, that tell you that you need to be inspired, like all of these different things. But a lot of these books don't tell you how to do it, how to get in touch with
Yes.
you, how to actually take that good feeling and turn it into something practical. And that's what the connection method does for you. And that it really takes it to the next level of, I want to do these things. I want to connect with my audience. I want to, but how do I do it? And so that's what the connection method does, is it literally gives you a step-by-step process to take the emotional and turn it into something tangible so that you can bring humanity back to your business, that you can create impact in your community with intentionality.
And that's when it's fun, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my big motivators for all of this, years ago. Is, again, I've been doing this for 25 years, but I have kids, I have teenagers, and
Mm-hmm.
they play competitive baseball, and I needed to know, and it's important to me to be at their games, and I needed to know that I could do that without having to worry about my clients. Meaning I need to be able to just say, hey, I'm at a baseball tournament this weekend.
Mhm.
I can't meet you. I have my business partner. They can meet you. I can get your real estate taken care of, but if it's a Saturday or Sunday during a tournament weekend, it might not be me. And
Mhm.
I needed the freedom to show up as that from the beginning of the client relationship.
Mhm.
It sounds so silly, but it's a big deal, or at least it
Yeah.
was to me. And different elements of my life of like, this is what it is, and I can get you really good stuff, but you just need to be okay with that. And it's great because everybody's
Yeah.
awesome with it. And
Yeah,
nobody
and
cares, by the way.
I know. And that's the thing, is that you've set the expectation, and
Right.
you've let them know what to expect from you and what you value. You not
Right.
only value an extreme level of high customer service and professionality
Right.
and get stuff done, but you also value your family time. And if you can build that holistic approach into your brand. If that's something that you value, then build it in. And so
Exactly.
that allows people to know what to expect. And Nicole, I have to tell you, I have to give you massive props, because you have been in this industry for a long time. And majority of the time, especially in real estate, when somebody has been in business this long, they just stay in their rut and stay in their process. A lot of times they're probably still faxing in this or that, no DocuSign, you know. A lot of people are like staying in one place and they don't see the need for change. And so I
Right.
really want to commend you and also
Oh, thank you.
illustrate the fact that you have your client's best interests at heart. That's why you went through this process and shook things up in your decades long business. Not everybody does that. Not everybody looks at their business, their solidified business that they've done forever, from a new lens and wanting to improve it. That just shows your value for serving your community to the highest level. So bravo, my friend.
Thank
Bravo.
you. It keeps it fun, for the record.
Yes.
You got to mix it up. Oh my goodness, that's one of the things I like about real estate is it's not same old, same old. I mean, same old, same old. I'm helping people buy and sell, but oh my gosh, it changes from month to month, let alone year to year. So
And also working with you, we were able to get new headshots too. I always
yes,
like, if your headshot is more than 2 years old, it is way too old. And there's some people who have their headshots from 15 years ago, and that's really not telling people what to expect. So bravo for you, just keeping it fun and really showing up in a beautiful, beautiful way.
awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show today. As always, it's fun to connect with you. We've had Kelsey Kurtis, the author of The Connection Method, on the show with us today. You can get her book on Amazon, The Connection Method. You can find her on Instagram, Kelsey M. Kurtis, both with a K.
Mhm.
Check her out. You'll be super glad you did. Thanks for joining us, Kelsey. I so
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me. I so appreciate you. Bye.
Oh my goodness. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday.